I think from an industry perspective, it sounds like we're broader than that too. And so we're not as reliant or susceptible even to swings at Pratt & Whitney that could throw the whole ecosystem out of whack.
I agree with that to a great extent. Globalization really has made it, it's facilitated other businesses and all these small businesses around Connecticut who've been suppliers to aerospace to go outside of Connecticut. It allows the customer portfolio for these smaller companies to be more diversified, which is important because, again, if, say, for instance, one of the big OEMs pulls one or two big part numbers from your mix, your product portfolio, the next thing you know, you're going to have a huge vacuum behind that. Sure. What are we filling it with? How are we going to be able to sustain the business? One or two part numbers can be $1 million, $2 million in hit
sure.
on your revenue line. And then, your margin just disappears. And it's razor thin margin all the way, all the time. It's really difficult. So, the globalization has really introduced the ability for smaller companies now to move out of the state of Connecticut, even out of the United States, to be able to go over to Europe, to go over to France, for instance, and sit down with Airbus and talk with Airbus and say, what can I make for you?
Right.
Look what we make over here. Can we contribute to your success as well?
And have you guys been involved in that at Phoenix, or have you been in other places? And I'm just interested, how does Connecticut stack up when they're on the global, we're in the global playing field when it comes to aerospace manufacturing?
Good question. I have a personal belief that when you're over in Europe, the Europeans look at Connecticut in particular, our manufacturing levels up here. You guys are phenomenal. We don't have to worry about you. We're not worried about your capability. We're not worried about whether you can deliver on time. We love your quality. Every supplier that I know who has been over into Europe, who has introduced products made in the USA to Europe, the Europeans absolutely have loved